Ah! Ah! It's unreal. Ah! 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 I was always good at drawing manga. I only needed to unleash my power. Up until now, I was just afraid. Afraid that I was too powerful. But now I'm gonna go all in. What's up, chat? Feeling extremely vibrant and potent today. Heard your mother cough? Yeah, I should tell her to leave the house. She's getting in the way of my gooning stream. My maximum level gooning power. Glad you're doing good. I'm not exactly doing good, but I'm kind of making my own luck right now. I'm forcing myself to do good on my own. My cat died today. I think the cat in our house is going to die soon as well. You kind of just have to get used to it. This is probably like my fourth cat in my lifetime. None of them are really my cats. They're just cats that my mother keeps on getting. I mean, imagine the people who like have rats and stuff, and they have to go through like a new rat every 2 years or 1.5 years or whatever. My parrot passed 3 weeks ago. Okay, that's like the opposite. If you're getting a parrot, depending on the parrot, you might die before the parrot. So that's like the opposite of having a cat or a rat. You're on your fucking deathbed and you're like, my grandson, you have to take care of Crackers. You need to take care of it. Yeah, the I woke up this morning and the cat in our house was like making this weird meowing sound, which is a sound that she makes only when she's puking up. And cats puke all the time, but apparently she isn't eating, so the elderly cat in our house might be on the way out. As well. I'm personally glad that I don't have like the responsibilities of being a pet owner right now because my mother covers all the vet costs. Because then you have to like start worrying about like, do I do like expensive surgery to elongate my pet's life and stuff like that? In most cases, like you shouldn't probably. Ours just started losing weight in the last days or so. It just stopped walking, eating, or drinking. I think the cat in our house might have some sort of kidney issue. I hear that's pretty common for like the ultimate fatal cause of when cats go out. That's terrible, man. It is terrible, sort of, but then also we have to be prepared for this stuff as creatures that are alive. Like, as someone who's 40 and has, like, 78-year-old parents and stuff like that who are still in this world, I need to be, like, prepared to have, like, an action plan for when the terminal illness happens for my mother or father and hope that they have all their shit in order as well, so... Also, I haven't done any of my own shit as well. I haven't created a will, so I should be doing that, but I figure that it's not like I have kids or anything, so it's like, whatever, I don't really care. I don't know, man. I hold my cat's face daily, and I tell her I will die when she dies. I feel like it's a little unfair for me as a human to be, like, too emotionally attached to cats when the previous cat was spending every day murdering small animals. It kind of made me feel like those like parents in serial killer movies where like there's the like the retarded child who is also like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre murderer person, and then the evil parents are also like, oh, he's such a good boy, go kill those college co-eds. It kind of had that kind of feeling to it. My mother is constantly like feeling weird responsibility for different living creatures in her yard and deciding which one should live and which one should die. Like, she currently found a bunch of caterpillars which I think are going to be monarch butterflies, so she put them in like a covered area so that they can become butterflies. But then she also, you know, kills all the other bugs as well because they're eating her plants. There are birds housing in the potted flower plant hanging near our yard. But also my mother was owning a cat that would murder, like, you know, all the small animals in the area. You need to be really careful about cat hydration. Only give them dry food and don't place water right next to the food or they instinctually won't drink it. Huh. My mother does have the water next to the food. I don't know if she's read about that. Although I do know the cat is drinking water. I see her, and the water keeps on going down. It looked like our current old cat was about to die pretty soon. Like last, I don't know, February or so this year. And we were like, yeah, she's definitely on her way out. But then instead of feeding her like cat food and like dry food and stuff, my mother just started feeding her tuna. And then she started eating the tuna. So she's been able to live another like 5 months after that. So it did get me thinking about how pet food might be bad. Just like we don't really know what it is. We've just decided that pets eat this thing called pet food, but maybe we're not supposed to be feeding them pet food. Get your hemorrhoids removed. I have a doctor's appointment set up I got a referral. They were like, okay, we finally got you your referral. Now you can get your doctor's appointment. I was like, oh, cool. I wonder what that will be. They'll be like, okay, our next opening we have is February. I'm like, oh, cool. That's great. Next year. So, yep. That's the American medical system for you. If you're not literally about to die and running into the emergency room, then you're not getting shit done. Hi friend, my Twitch app decided to uninstall itself and I wasn't getting notifications and just assumed Vivi was avoiding streaming in order to focus. Aren't you happy that Apple is there to protect you from watching this unsafe, inappropriate content? I will never buy another Apple product after my iPhone like 4S or something was running perfectly well one day, and then it installed one of its mandatory updates, and then it went from running perfectly well to being unusably slow after the update. I was just like, holy shit, it's real. They actually fucking bricked my phone. They have like a kill switch software in their update and they fucking made it unusable. Jesus Christ. So yeah, after that I'm not buying Apple anymore. Not only are you paying more, you're also paying more and then getting less, it seems. The thing with cat instincts in water is that in the wild, water right next to potential food would be a dirty puddle with a dead rat in it, so they don't like it. Interesting. Well, I think we're okay about the instinct part with the current cat, because she has like 0 animal instincts. So, anything instinctual she is incapable of activating, so I don't think she's going to have any difficulty drinking the water. I'm too lazy and habit driven to change to Android. I hear that Japan is such a stupid country that if you don't have an iPhone, they'll bully you in school. Is what I've been told. To which I say, try and bully me, Takeshi, what you gonna do? I'm like 1.5 feet taller than all you bitches. Also, I'm not ever gonna communicate with anybody, so it doesn't really matter. People used to bully others in the US over the blue text bubbles. Have we abandoned that practice? We need to bring it back to make sure that we have phone classicism. I mean, it's so obvious at this point that having an iPhone and having an Android gives you the exact same functionality, and there's really no benefit in having an iPhone besides your text bubble color, so you better enjoy that fucking blue text bubble. I don't know what else you're enjoying. That shit's costing you an extra like $500. Bring back bullying. I need to be humbled. I don't know if you have to pay for it as a female, but if men want to get bullied, they have to go and pay women, I don't know, several $100s per hour to get it make it happen. So bullying is not free in 2025. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. What are you gonna do when the Hulkster comes and draws cute anime girls all over your ass? The Hulkster was a royal piece of shit. He also wasn't a particularly great wrestler. In this highlight reel, where basically all we're going to see is him punch people a few times and also kick them a few times. Basically, his entire job was being tall. I never really understood why he was the wrestler I was supposed to be rooting for the most when I was growing up in, like, 1990, you know? Say what you will about him, he was an aura farming pro. If you want to be a great professional wrestler, that's basically all the skill you need, is just being a excellent aura farmer. Also, considering that he lived to 70, I mean, you could say that was a pretty long life for these people where their average lifespan is like ends at 50 after they use a gajillion steroids, you know. He lived to a ripe old age by wrestler standards. Hulk made everyone at WCW miserable. I'm pretty sure everybody at WCW was miserable anyways, but whatever. I'm sure he was a piece of shit at every point in his life. I will give him credit for causing Gawker to go bankrupt after they essentially posted revenge porn of him online and be like, no, this is a... the people need to see the explicit details of the Hulk Hogan sex tape. Also, didn't he have, like, some sort of... Didn't he say racist stuff during the sex tape or something? I can't remember. I can't believe the Hulkster was racist, guys. He said that he was a real American that fighted for the rights of every man. There's no way a man like that would ever be racist. A white supremacist from Florida is a piece of shit. What a twist. I know, right? Who could have seen that one coming? I swear, man, if some sort of hurricane decimates the state of Florida, the entire YouTube sphere of, like, true crime police footage will just be absolutely annihilated. They won't be able to get any video footage of anything going forward. Apparently, all this, like, Florida man stuff is just a meme, and crime rates aren't necessarily higher in Florida. They just have laws where it makes it easier for you to get records of criminal activity, but I choose not to believe that stuff. I'm just going to believe that Florida is full of criminal psychopaths. Hulk is the juice Florida man. He is. He's also... I guess I was going to say that he's like the more fit version of Florida man, but maybe not. I don't know. I mean, he never really looked like he was that fit, and he could never actually move that much. Like, from day one when I saw him, he looked like he was too old to be wrestling and like he had a shit ton of hip problems. So if he was 70 in 2025, that means he was 50 in 2005. So he was only in his 40s during the 90s. But man, he always looked like he was like 55 and about to die. Vince liked big muscle dudes. He did not give a shit about legitimate talent. Being tall and being on steroids is talent. You would never understand. Chris Benoit having an entire pharmacy's worth of human growth hormone in his veins is a form of talent. I mean, not everybody responds to the steroids like that, so... Chris Benoit was 5'8" and Vince didn't like him at all? True. Who was Vince's favorite guy in retrospect? Not from the WWF era, but like the WWE like 90s era. I wasn't really following the anything beyond the kayfabe in the 90s. I mean, I guess it might be Triple H, considering he allowed him to marry his daughter or something. But what I learned from the extremely accurate occurrences during Monday Night Raw was that Stephanie had to marry Triple H because he abducted her and forced her to marry him or something. I believe that was what happened. I'm sorry, my history on 90s I guess it's 2000s WWE storylines is a bit shaky right now. Triple H dubbed China for Stephanie. He was he just wanted his paycheck, I guess. That was very real, like all wrestling. I like, every once in a while I'll watch, like, Japanese wrestling on YouTube, and they take it so seriously. There's no, like, this wrestler abducted this wrestler's girlfriend and shit, usually. They treat it like it's an actual sport, is usually what happens. It's very bizarre watching it from, like, a Western perspective. It's like, where's the plot? And it's like, the plot is, they're wrestling for the championship and they don't like each other. I'm like, no. You're saying that this Japanese wrestler isn't secretly dead and he's like coming back from the grave or something? How can that be? I prefer serious wrestling. Joshi is annoying though. I can only watch people beat the shit out of each other and then writhe around on the mat in pain for so long before I get bored, so... I pretended like I was enjoying it for a while, then I was like, nah, I'm not actually enjoying this. I think my biggest complaint with WWE is the storylines take too long to develop. Like it's like a straight like 6 months for one storyline to develop, and you have to watch the pay-per-view for any kind of conclusion, and it's just like, come on, man, shit is taking too long. What about UFC fights? You into that? I was into stuff like Pride back in the day. I hope I'm not dating myself and you people literally don't even know what Pride is, but I watched Pride back in the day. I didn't really get into UFC. Again, a huge part of this is that I don't have cable and I'm not going to pay for pay-per-view, so my opportunity to just sort of watch this stuff naturally on TV isn't going to happen. Pride, Blast from the Past. The characters in Pride was a whole different thing. K1 and Pride was the shit if you were in Japan in the 2000s. Because it was just on normal broadcast TV on like New Year's Eve and stuff. Just you and your family chilling around the kotatsu, eating tangerines, and then, you know, grappling and Pride on one channel. The Kohaku Song Contest on the other channel. Some comedian Gaki no Tsukai 24-hour special on another channel. Now MMA is too formulaic, boring-ass jiu-jitsu groundwork. I only watch competitive slap fights now. The highest degree of technical skill, where one man slaps each other, and then they just go back and forth until one of them dies from a concussion. Competitive death slapping has the same problem that every turn-based competition has, in that the person who goes first is at a huge, massive advantage. Any kind of competition where they don't start at the same time will always inherently have this issue, whether it's chess, MTG, or competitive slapping. But none of them is it so obvious as competitive slapping. Like, it would be interesting to actually go into the win rate of competitive slapping and see what percentage of the people who begin the slap match first ultimately go on to win. I'm sure it's like 80% or something. I love how I'm talking about competitive slapping as if it's like a real sport. Slap fighting is garbage. You might as well be hitting each other like clubs with cavemen. That's what appeals to my Liver King brain. The ancestral tenets, I can feel it. I can feel the ancestral tenets flowing through my bloodstream right now. I only ever hear snippets of fighting sports, like that Russian guy fucking up this fighter who wouldn't shut up. Yeah, fighting sports are kind of, See, I feel like fighting sports peak when you're a teenager and you think that fighting hand-to-hand in hand-to-hand combat is actually an actual reflection of, like, human possibility and how strong we can become. You know, if you read Baki and you're like, huh, this Itagaki guy is low-key making some good points about how humans are the strongest animal on the planet or some shit like that. If you can still think like that, then competitive fighting sports is the thing for you. But as you grow older, you realize that human beings were never really meant to punch each other with our empty hands. That's not how we were built. And the correct form of human combat is just shooting each other, or using sharp, pointy objects to stab each other. That's what we've been doing for millions of years to survive. We weren't like, we must fight the woolly mammoth with our bare hands, you know? Bring back jousting. I mean, isn't that why we have Renaissance festivals? God, I bet the guy who, like, is the Knight of Flowers in the jousting match at the Renaissance Festival gets so much pussy from all these cosplaying, dress-wearing bitches. Imagine being a knight in full plate armor, and then you honor your lady in the stands or whatever. That's why me and the girls dress in our sluttiest club attire and rage at medieval times. What I've been told is that Renaissance festivals are actually like a place where horrible nerd sex goes down. Horrible debauchery is happening at the Ren Festival. That's what I've been told. I would never go to one, of course. You should try HEMA. It's fun, makes you rethink fighting as a whole. I'm not going to do any kind of hand-to-hand combat because it's too easy to, like, break my hand and shit. You know that people weren't built to do something when punching somebody with your hand often results in you breaking your fucking hand, so As someone who's trying to get better at drawing, I can't really take a like 5 months break from drawing because I broke my hand trying to punch someone. That's stupid. Maybe if I'm doing Muay Thai and I'm only using my elbows and knees and stuff, I might consider it, but besides that. Also, I have like shit reflexes and stuff, so I've been bad at every sport I did. Even ones that didn't require reflexes like swimming. I'm just really not... I look like I have the body, but I really don't. My physical talents are extremely limited. I used to do karate, made it to orange belt. Yes, that shit is all fake. Actual karate doesn't have multicolored belts. You'll only break your hand if your opponent is purposely trying to do that. Yeah, but if you do boxing and stuff, professional boxers like break their hand all the time. My friend works at a touring Ren fair. It's just cool people who live in trailers, basically carnies. You haven't rejected my notion that lots of insane sex goes on at Ren fairs. I think that's still correct. No belt, just Don. Yes. Listen, if you're doing karate and you don't look like this, I'm just gonna think you're automatically assume you're a fraud. If you haven't somehow figured out a way to make your eye just like white all the time, then I assume that you don't actually know how to do karate. So we should all be Sagat or Orochi Doppo, one or the other. It's the only way. You have to punch in a specific way to avoid breaking the bones in your hand from the elbow. Yeah, instead of trying to punch, you should try using open palm strikes as if we are actually doing a slap fight competition. And hit people with the bottom, like the cushy part of your palm. Then you won't break your hand. Or even better, try and use your elbows or knees, which is the hardest part of your body. Or even better, just run away because assault charges are nothing to laugh at. I don't want to go to prison. Being autistic in prison sounds like a very bad day. They will definitely not be giving me much personal space in prison, so we're going to try and avoid that happening. You know that one scene in Indiana Jones with the sword man in Cairo, and Indy just shoots him? Yes. You don't have to tell us about how it was supposed to be a long-winded whip versus sword fight. Everybody knows that. Prison is great for autists. Set rules for socializing schedules and you're better off alone. Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to be alone. That's the problem. Prisons are kind of crowded nowadays. I'd rather be alone in my own house. Aren't you tall and jacked? I'm sure you'd be better off than most. I'm not jacked. I'm only jacked in a, like, I'm not morbidly obese in an American kind of way. As in, I'm in slightly good shape and not dying from, you know, high blood pressure or some shit like that. That doesn't mean I can, like, some fat fuck who's in horrible physical condition is probably better in a fight than me, because it's, if we're talking about, like, short-term situations, it's, the fat guy is generally going to win a fight. If I'm in a, like, dual prison cell and some fat rapist wants to rape my ass in prison, there's probably not much I'm gonna do to be able to stop him besides, like, trying to bite his artery open or some shit like that. Hulk and Ozzy gone same week, the fuck going on? I mean, what do you mean the fuck going on? People die. That's normal. Especially people who use a shit ton of drugs back in the day. This is perfectly normal. In fact, a huge percentage of society are boomers, and especially boomer men. And we're gonna start having these big die-off weeks coming soon. It's gonna be more and more frequent. And it's not just like the celebrities, it's gonna be shit like politicians and stuff as well. Like, all the politicians that rule the world right now, they're all boomers. Everybody's a fucking boomer. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it. I'm surprised Ric Flair didn't die first. I thought that Ric Flair was already dead, to be honest. I didn't know he was still alive. Ric Flair has too much woo to die before Hulk. What I know about Ric Flair is that he's the richest man in the world. He's an ultra billionaire, so he probably has some extremely potent technological medical setup that's keeping him alive. Unless wrestling was lying to me and he's not actually super rich. I just remembered David Lynch and Brian Wilson died this year. Yeah, I just don't really care. Unless, like, it's a celebrity that's, like, at the peak of their powers and they're, like, about to release some amazing album or some shit, and them dying is robbing us of whatever thing that they were about to do. And I don't really care that much about celebrity deaths, to be honest. We just have to keep George R.R. Martin alive so he can release the last volumes of Song of Ice and Fire. It's gonna happen, boys. You just need to believe. I'm sure he's working on Dance of Dragons or whatever now. No, wait, Dance of Dragons was out. What was the last one? Something of Spring. It's gonna happen, guys. We just need to keep Oda alive and George R.R. Martin alive before they can finish their masterpieces. Any day now. DSP is gonna outlive George R.R. Martin, mark my words. DSP is gonna outlive all of us. He's too much of a fuck up to actually die. George R.R. Martin is just doing Ozempic and chilling in New Mexico. He is not finishing that book. I wish there was some sort of Vegas odds that would let me bet on George R.R. Martin not releasing the book, but no casino would ever cover that, so that's not going to happen. There's no way that One Piece or A Song of Ice and Fire ends without people hating the ending. I mean, it already happened. The TV show ended. And people already hated the ending, remember? I feel like One Piece can go on long enough that people just won't care about the ending instead of hating it. I think that's actually just as likely. TBH. The TV show doesn't count. It was engineered in a lab to be ass. It ended up that way because George R. R. Martin doesn't know how to end the TV show for his own creation. He didn't know how to end it. So he's just like, okay, you guys are piloting the ship now. And they were like, Mr. Martin, we don't know how to do that. We're not as talented as you. And he's like, neither am I. You overestimate my abilities. And then they crashed the ship, so... I won't allow Oda to die until their canon hentai of Nico Robin. That's what AI is for. My favorite part of the movie ending, which I haven't actually seen, was... My favorite part was all the, like, weird fourth wave quasi-feminist TV women who were latching onto Daenerys as some, like, girl power icon, being like, no, wait. She's not supposed to do bad things. I was like, LOL. LMAO. Dragon Lady is supposed to be Jesus. Anyways, it's better unfinished. Now I can imagine my own ending based on the books that I have read. In my version of Song of Ice and Fire final book, Jamie, he fucks his sister so much that she becomes good again. The power of the incest overcomes all obstacles, and we get a happy ending. That sounds dope. The incest dick is too powerful. New South Park came out after they signed a $1.5 billion deal and skewered Paramount Trump. So what is the canon ending of South Park? I mean, I don't think Trump is old enough to understand that he's being made fun of in South Park. And I think Paramount cares more about money than their own pride. So I think South Park will be fine. Speaking of Togashi, this might be a hot take, but I really don't think he is meant to do weekly shonen stuff. He'd be more fit as a monthly seinen author, in my opinion. It's not a hot take when he hasn't been on a weekly schedule in the last like 20 years, so I think he's already there. That's possibly the coldest take I've heard in a long time. I mean, not only is he not meant to be a weekly shonen mangaka, he isn't one. He has never behaved as one. He'll build up however many chapters he's already drawn, and then they'll run them, and then he disappears again. That's all. When Trump sues Paramount again because South Park showed him with a small dick for the majority of the episode. I wonder. I mean, I don't think they're gonna... For one thing, I hope that their merger fucking fails, for one thing. We have enough monopolies, for sure. For another, when are these entities gonna realize that there's no point in capitulating to Trump because he's gonna change his mind about everything the next day? Is that too complicated for people to figure out? I guess it is. I'm pretty sure that America is already a dictatorship at this point. People just haven't noticed it yet. When pretty much every sort of institution is like, oh, Mr. Trump, we won't make fun of you. Please don't sue me. We'll do whatever. And then the Supreme Court is just like, yeah, whatever Trump is doing isn't illegal. Or maybe it is illegal. We just won't talk about it. Let's pretend like it's not happening. I think we are already in the dictatorship phase. Remember when everyone thought Microsoft buying Bethesda Activision was a good thing? LMAO. To be fair, I'm pretty sure Bethesda and Activision would still be shit whether they were bought by Microsoft or not. The thing about Microsoft is they only buy stuff when the studio is on its way out, so it's kind of hard to tell. Like, when EA would buy studios, they would usually buy them at the peak of their powers, like, what was it, Visceral Games after they made Dead Space. And then they would run them into the ground and destroy all the talent and ruin their studio within like 3 or 4 years. But Microsoft has only been buying property on its way out, so it's kind of hard to say whether, you know, this is actually having any effect on the quality of shit. How do you feel about Visa and MasterCard force all stores to comply with Aussie law? Australia has always been like the worst country when it comes to censorship. I remember that reading someplace that you couldn't even buy Mortal Kombat inside Australia. Like this was back in like 2010 or something. But everybody fucking ignores that because Australia isn't really a real country. Nobody gives a fuck about Australia, so. But we're just pretending like that's not a thing. And of course, feminists are awful too. So the combination of Australia and like fourth wave feminists is like the most toxic shit you can imagine. But if it wasn't them, it's going to be like some sort of Christian fundamentalist going after the payment processors. He hates his mom. I do. When it comes to stupid feminist shit, I've had to hear so much of it. There's it's up there with like Trumpism in terms of I've met so many feminist people, including my mother, who when you just point out obvious, just like this, when I'm not even like arguing for a side. Like the other day, the Japanese elections went down, and my mother was like, I forgot specifically, but I just pointed out to her that whatever feminist ideals she, you know, preaches for have really not caught on in Japan. And she's like, what do you know? I'm like, I know enough that I know that feminism has a very, very little footprint in Japan. And it made her very pissy because she doesn't want to accept reality. So, you know, just like Trumpies having difficulty with reality, the same can happen if you're on the other side of the aisle and you get too deep in your echo chamber. Like I had to have a discussion with my high school classmate and try and convince her that no, women cannot beat men in sports. The reason why women and men have different sports leagues for professional athletes is not because they're protecting male athletes from the overwhelming power that female athletes have. That's not real. There isn't some sort of hidden pool of female talent that's going to be discovered and destroy men. Also, you probably haven't seen any sports ever. This is an actual conversation I had to have with her, so. Funny how Trump embraced the Russian meme of Obama did it. I mean, Trump has always been looking for whatever excuse to go after Obama for a while. LeBron quivering in fear of Caitlin Clark. Unlike LeBron, Caitlin Clark can actually shoot, so he should be. I've seen enough shitty step-back jumpers by LeBron that, you know, it's like maybe he could use a little Caitlin Clark on his fucking team. Fucking washed-ass old guy. How did Hulk Hogan's racism power scale to Mel Gibson's? Hulk Hogan's racism is standard white on black racism, whereas Mel Gibson's racism is standard white on Jewish conspiracy racism. So they're both, you know, a standard solid 7, I would say. Maybe Mel Gibson is a 6 and the Hulkster is a 7. We haven't really had many, like, disciplined racists in the media for a long, long time. Like, Trump is a racist, for example, but you can easily make him like minorities if you just, like, suck up to him. Like, we haven't really had anybody who's like, I have a whole theory about why this racial group is superior to others, and it's my racial group, and I will, like, you know, I have a whole manifesto about how I want to kill this other racial group and stuff like that. Like, it's really gone out of style. It's just a lot of casual racists. Trump is fickle. Yeah, you can say that again. That's sort of... That's the entire Trump experience, to be honest. Is just Trump being fickle. Trump is a terrible racist given how much he likes Indians, for example. Like, even in his 90s days... Like, when he would complain about minorities and stuff, he would make lots of exceptions for minorities that would be, like, chill with him, like celebrity minorities. He's not, like, an instinctual, like, I just hate dark-skinned people. He just has, like, a vague sense of... I mean, he's just, like, your average drunk uncle at Thanksgiving complaining about the Mexicans in front of the Home Depot or something. He doesn't really have any ideology. Where are all the competitive racists? Unfortunately, Goebbels isn't walking through that door, guys. They don't make them like they used to. Highbrow racism is out of vogue. So my favorite thing was, like, back in the day when, like, Christianity and stuff would have, like, an entire just, like, scientific studies on why slavery was okay. I wonder if I can find the images. During the era of slavery, various pseudoscientific theories were employed to rationalize the supposed intellectual superiority of white people and justify the institution of slavery. One prominent example is craniometry. That's what I was looking for. Where's the craniometry images? I can't find the very specific one, but they would basically measure the shape of, like, white guys, and the white guy they would choose was, like, this Greco-Roman statue, basically the yes meme. And then, like, they'd be like, look at the slave man. His the back of his head is elongated. It is just like the ape. We've done it, guys. We've explained why slavery is just. And then they also had, like, all of this, like, scientific theory about why... Because everything had to be Christian okay, right? So they would have all this, like... They'd have to, like, justify slavery in Christian terms, and they were all like, you know, it's the white man's burden. If we would not... We need to be active stewards of the inferior races, and so on and so on. See, that was the peak of, like, racism and science sort of gone together. Even more than, like, Nazism. But, yeah, nobody seems to be willing to go back to that era, strangely. Except Kanye, I guess. If we convince Kanye that this is a real thing, he might advocate for it, but that's about it. We've regressed into racism so hard in the USA that Italians are back into being brown people. Are they? I won't believe it until I see the Fox News segment about the unwashed Italians showing up in New York or something. Whatever you read on 4chan doesn't count. It's not official until it's on Fox News and your boomer parents are watching it. Racist societally constructed concept. Arabs are considered white in the US. Not if I have any say in it. We must not have Sharia law in New York City. Vote against what's his name now. I saw on Twitter that he was installing Sharia law any day now. We have to stop him before it's too late. It's the result of USA being founded by schizo Protestants and being brought up by a lack of culture. Also, the fact that their entire land mass was obtained by murdering all the natives there, and then all of the economy was built up through slavery-based agriculture also doesn't help. But we're not allowed to talk about that anymore, guys. Trump said that we're not allowed to disparage the great American experiment. Mashallah, brother, may the subway always be on time. LOL, LMAO. Imagine New York subways being on time. Actually, I don't know. I've never actually used the New York subway. It might be on time. I'm just grading stuff based on my Japanese standards for the subway cars literally always being on time every single fucking day. And if there's like a 2-minute delay to any kind of train, the subway manager person has to do dogeza butt naked in front of the entire populace of Tokyo and commit Sudoku. That's the Japanese train standard. God has abandoned the MTA. All I know is that, like, you can sleep on the train cars and they can't kick you off or some shit. Doesn't the US sort of have Christian laws and influences that aren't too dissimilar to Sharia? Maybe? I don't know. There's laws, and then there's laws that are actually in practice, you know? There's a lot of laws on the books that aren't actually enforced. And there's lots of laws that aren't on the books that are enforced, you know? So... What's the latest world news in the BaalBuddy-verse? I've learned that I fucking have to listen to this super annoying ADHD music to reach my full potential. I can't even listen to stuff like retro wave shit like we're listening to right now. I have to listen to this shit. It's just like, oh... It's like fucking meditation crap. There's 8 hours of this on this YouTube video. It just goes in a loop. But when I was actually like monitoring my progress and how quickly I was drawing and stuff, I was like, this ADHD relief music is actually working, fuck. That means I have to listen to it while drawing, fuck. But you know, I'm forcing myself to do this shit, even if I don't enjoy it. How much would you say your art has improved since starting your manga? Exponentially, I would say. I can say right now that I feel pretty confident I'm gonna make it. I've had to do so much problem solving on a daily basis and just figure shit out. No gotchi, initial D, MGR, DMC5 OSD, no. Only AI generated meditation crap. Bloomer Buddy, yeah, when I'm tracking my manga progress, I can be a bloomer, and everywhere else I'm just going to be a doomer, I guess, is how we're going to do it. The existence of BaalBud implies the existence of Moloch enemy. I haven't really looked up all the various demons of hell and the stratification of hell in a while. The reason why I'm called BaalBud is because I was planning a long-term manga, my 40-volume, 100-volume magnum opus when I was like 14, based on Dante's Inferno, and the main characters were like on the side of the Christian devils of hell, fighting against angelic forces during the apocalypse. This was my, you know, big $1 million concept that I was thinking of, which something I would definitely not do now, considering there's 10 million demon-based shit already. So do it. Go full Oda. Oda has proven to me that going full Oda is in fact a bad idea. We have the newest season of Demon Slayer releasing, right? The reason I'm saying that is because I was flipping through the Japanese Jump, Shonen Jump online website, and they had like 8 volumes worth of Demon Slayer ready to read for free because they want you to catch up on it before the anime started. And I was like, oh, I haven't actually read this part of Demon Slayer. So I binged really quickly the entire segment between the prostitution district segment and right before the final battle starts, which is I guess where the anime begins. And I was just like, man, I can't believe this is going to end in like 80 more chapters. The author actually fucking speedrun this story in 20 volumes. They just ended it when it was super popular. What a fucking Giga Chad. She made her money and fucked off. We need to monetize forever. Oda will die someday. I mean, yeah, you're seeing what happens when you do try to monetize forever. When they're trying to create Dragon Ball, Gachi Cockgasm, Super Saiyajin 5 or whatever, you know. It ain't pretty. Is there even any story? Isn't it basically just animation? Demon Slayer has lots of story. I would say that the number one reason why the Demon Slayer manga was popular is because it has great animation, and the author benefited a ton from getting a hugely talented animation studio. But the number two reason why it's popular is because the author is actually a very good writer, and she's a really good wordsmith of Japanese, and she knows how to give you the right amount of information at the right time. I'd also say that Demon Slayer is probably the most popular in terms of manga that were super giga popular and sold like 30 million copies or whatever. It's probably the lowest art quality of all of them, I would say, in terms of just being able to like transmit cool shit on screen based on the art quality. Like there's lots of just straight up images where you can't really tell what's going on because she's not good enough to draw it in a way that's immediately understandable. and then like the characters have to explain what's happening with dialogue and stuff in the manga. So for that manga to be like one of the best-selling, you know, anything in a decade, really says a lot about the other stuff. You could say that the anime is making up for her shortcomings. The manga is rushed at the end. I like how the manga ends. I haven't actually read it to the end, but I like that I know it's going to end. I mean, how many of these super popular series have actually ended, you know? Bleach was straight up canceled. There was supposed to be an entire another arc, or maybe even 2 more arcs, 3 more arcs, who the fuck knows. Naruto ended cleanly, at least, but then we have Boruto because they have to keep on monetizing it. Don't even start about One Piece. Very, very few extremely popular Japanese mangas or anything gets to end on their own terms. They they have to continue forever until it loses popularity, and then they're forced to end. Or they're forced to end anyways, because even before they continue forever. Or the author is still super popular, but the author is getting old and then they can't, like, maintain the drawing and stuff like that. So for any kind of, like, conclusive ending is actually a huge accomplishment. Dragon Ball getting milk. Dragon Ball was supposed to end with the Freezer arc. And then it was supposed to end with a Cell arc. And the editors were like, no, you have to keep on going. So then we get another arc. And then Toriyama is like, okay, I'm finally not drawing anymore. And then they're like, no, wait. Okay, somebody besides Toriyama has to keep on drawing. It ain't pretty. Did Zatspel end properly? I forget. It did, and by popular demand it got a sequel after the author bought back the rights to the property and started self-publishing. So the publishing company really fucked over the author in ways that are just kind of hard to imagine. Like, apparently editors were just straight up losing pages and stuff, and there's rumors on the internet that the editor was like giving pages to cabaret club hostesses he liked to impress them and shit like that. So understandably the author was like, fuck these guys, and he had to start a lawsuit to get all of his rights back and all of his stuff back. And he tried to like get a settlement with the publishing company and have them sign a letter that said like, our goal of creating manga is to create a good story in cooperation with the author and stuff like that. And the publishing company was like, nah, fuck you, we ain't signing shit. They weren't even willing to do the most basic stuff. So this is Shonen Sunday, the magazine that Takahashi Rumiko and Detective Conan and stuff is in. And they have really bad reputation, it seems. They're still making do with like their old mangaka from like a previous generation, but the word online is like, just don't go there. And if you look at their magazine, it keeps on getting thinner and thinner because they can't find young people to draw for them. It's a really bizarre institution. I read Shonen Sunday while I was growing up because I like Conan and stuff like that. But if I make it, I'm definitely not going anywhere near them. Yeah, there's no reason why you have to be tied to publishing companies if you're popular enough, right? Because a huge percentage of books are ebooks. So you don't even need to be in cahoots with the publishing company. You can just sell it online. Shut the fuck up, Constrictor. Nobody gives a fuck about your Conan joke. Conan O'Brien is big in Japan. No, he is not. Although I was given a YouTube recommendation for when Conan went to Japan. You heard about the V Shoujo drama? Don't give a fuck about VTubers. All anime girls owe me sex right now. And if it turns out that that anime girl is actually just a real human being pretending to be an anime girl, then I'm not interested. They stole money from a charity and screwed their talent. Oh no, I can't believe anybody on a video game streaming platform would steal money from their charity stream. No, how can this be? Unbelievable. Good thing that this is the only time that's ever happened, am I right? Who was the most recent non-V Shoujo people that were stealing from charity? I can't remember. It was pretty famous guys, right? This happens all the time. Why do you need a company for some shit like that? Just do your own thing. It takes a bit of money to get your animated character made, which is only a few $1,000s, but people don't even have that. And then they're like, no, don't worry, we'll promote you and all that stuff. So it's pretty funny that it's basically just online prostitution, but even in online prostitution, somehow pimps find a way to monetize women. Like, at least you need an excuse for a pimp in the real world, in which there's always a possibility of someone just walking up to you and taking all your cash and beating you up. But online, that shouldn't be an issue, and yet we basically have the equivalent of pimps, whether it's management, quote-unquote, companies for OnlyFans or management companies for V Shoujo and all that stuff. It's these men that have no direct relationship. They shouldn't be part of the equation between horny men giving their cash to some sort of female object, and it should just be a one-on-one transaction somehow, but somehow there's guys leeching off of that. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan, right after Ozzy. Boomer's gonna die. It's gonna be like that for the next 10 years or so. I think you're reading into this too much. I don't think anyone watched Iron Mouse for his sex appeal. Wrong. Even if men aren't directly getting sex from VTubers, there's a reason why guys watch cute anime girls saying cute things, and it's because they are lonely. Just like the guys who are lonely for women also spend money on OnlyFans. It is inherently the same thing. The lines at Anime Expo to meet her via screencast were insanely long. Jesus Christ. Imagine wasting your time meeting Iron Mass when you could instead be talking to Grargura or Pekara's mother, Peko. I don't know. I don't watch any of these things. I'm sure Pekora's mother is just as attractive as her anime avatar. It's better than the guy at Anime Expo who had a meltdown because he couldn't get the free Gundam waifu card. Which Gundam waifu was it? Depending on which Gundam character it was, that determines how cringe he is. VTubers are decent background noise at times, in my opinion. Yeah, but I'm not gonna cry over them. Also, they can just like fucking dump the talent agency. Just dump them, you'll be fine. It's from the newest show. Yeah, I haven't watched GOOOOOOO at all. I don't like that style. I don't want cute girls doing cute things in my Gundam anime. I only want manly men with mustaches. I want fascism and mass murder in my Gundam. I don't actually know what happens in GOOOOOO, but I heard someplace that they were dropping colonies and stuff, so I think it's okay. As long as half of the Earth's population is wiped out in genocidal mass casualty attacks, it's all okay. Every Gundam has genocide, not Turn A. Turn A has no genocide. Turn A is just like silly Shakespearean hijinks. Everything else has genocide though, I'm pretty sure. The amount of streamers I had to stop watching because they grew a VTuber is too damn high. Yeah, guys, it's your VTuber BaalBud-chan. Hey guys, Konpeko. Today we're gonna be streaming Minecraft. Teehee, I'm so bad at video games because I'm a girl. Teehee. Look at my avatar, it's so cute. It hasn't been animated yet. I need you guys to donate $5,000 so I can get money to have my avatar animated, please. Oh, she's so cute, isn't she? We have to give her multicolored hair. Please get an anime girl VTube persona, but don't alter your voice. Yeah. Some people actually do that shit. It's very strange. I'm such a cute girl, teehee. The YouTuber shows her face once, viewership drops in real time. Kayfabe must never be broken ever, guys. No amount of fandom can overcome the fact that you're a 6 out of 10 in real life. If you could make money showing your face, then they would already be doing that. Why the fuck do people wear those huge round glasses? They're not even appealing to look at. Are you sure? How do you feel about big round glasses now, chat? Damn, those glasses. They're so big and round. Those fucking glasses taking up such a large space on this image with their big round shape. Fucking hate glasses. Still hotter if she got LASIK. Yeah, I don't know if she actually needs glasses. Half of the photos she's not wearing glasses. Also, she probably has had various other types of surgery, so I'm sure nothing will stop her from getting LASIK. That's you, homie? Yes, that's exactly how I look like in real life, guys. I've been using a voice changer until now. Please subscribe and donate. That's me right there. I've looked that way all the time. I was just afraid to show my real face because I thought you guys wouldn't think I'm pretty because I have these glasses. But now I'm willing to finally show a photo of myself. Thoughts on Andy and Lele? I don't play Steam visual novels or whatever that's categorized, so I don't care. I don't play stuff just because 4chan wants to talk about it all the time. Baby's first mild eroge visual novel. Yeah, if my eroge visual novel doesn't involve a busty anti-demon ninja female getting defeated by a group of orcs and gang raped within the first 10 minutes, then I'm not gonna play it, okay? We have standards around here, people. I think it's crazy how the dev became a millionaire overnight, but that's a shit ton of, like, subpar, mid-tier Steam games that become insanely popular and a bunch of streamers play them and stuff like that. That's happened so many times. Like what, class of 2000 and what? I forgot what year, 2003, class of 2009. That person became a millionaire. Helltaker, it wasn't, the game itself wasn't even on sale, and he became a millionaire. Everyone's... The people who make it just make it. That's the power of Steam. Fucking Gaben. Just shitting money out of people's asses. Helltaker was all about the pancake recipe. I don't even like pancakes. I like waffles. If waffles are a 10 out of 10 and French toast is like an 8 out of 10, pancakes are like a 6 out of 10. No, I will not take that back. A week of 90-degree thunderstorms. Oh baby, it's tornado time. Luckily, I do not live in Oklahoma, so I don't have to deal with that. Although, you can get tornadoes in pretty much like half of America at this point. I'm just in the Chud South. Yeah, the Chud South gets its tornado stuff as well. That's part of the Chud lifestyle, is living in a trailer park and then getting thrown 10 million miles in the air and falling to your death. I want to become the scientific guy in like the tornado movie who's like who drives a black van because he's evil. He's the evil tornado researcher. He's not the scrappy underdog tornado researcher that you're supposed to root for. He's the evil one who has like proper funding and stuff. He's doing his tornado research for the wrong reasons. And then I die a dramatic death by getting sucked up. When, like, the main character is like, no, don't go that way, Steve. My readings show that the tornado is going to hit that location. I'm like, you don't understand. I don't trust your stupid fucking science. My equipment's better. And then I, like, get hit by a tornado and die. Feels good, man. What do you do for a living? I'm an evil tornado researcher. Can't you tell by my black van? My professional looking black van with proper equipment. Yeah, I'm extremely evil. It's almost as fun as being the evil hockey team coach. You have to play the scrappy underdog team of kids from different walks of life and different racial ethnicities. And then you can be like the hockey team coach that's all like, everybody on my team is blonde, blue-eyed kids with like slick back hair. And we're all good at hockey because we have a disciplined regimen of, you know, scientific study-based training. It makes us very evil. How about the evil alien ballers from Space Jam? The evil alien ballers from Space Jam weren't actually alien ballers. They were parasites taking over the talent of 90s NBA superstars for the good of the evil team owner, corporate stand-in person. I don't know. Basically, the evil guy in Space Jam is James Dolan, I guess. I don't know. I don't know who he's supposed to be. I don't think they were allowed to be too on the nose in terms of which team owner they were making fun of, but he was definitely supposed to be a fat cat in a literal sense. They're called the Monstars, BB. Put some respect on their name. They're losers. I don't care about them. They lost despite having all the combined talent of Patrick Ewing or something like that. I don't know. Honestly, if we're being realistic, there's no way the Monstars could have beaten Looney Tune characters in the first place. The Looney Tune characters just had to fucking lose on purpose in a sort of professional wrestling kayfabe way, because if Bugs Bunny and stuff were actually allowed to do their stupid shenanigans from the start, there's no way the power of Patrick Ewing would be enough to overcome, I don't know, Acme technology and stuff, so... I mean, Roadrunner can literally run faster than space and time, so I'm pretty sure it would have been impossible for the Monstars to win in the first place. Imagine having the power of Ewing and Barkley and still losing. I mean, they lost. Boom. You hear that, Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley? You're fucking losers. You didn't get your ring. Wait, Ewing didn't get a ring, right? I'm not forgetting anything. Nobody really talks about how Ewing didn't get a ring because they don't talk about him as one of the best players ever, so this doesn't really matter. No insulting Knicks players, BB. Jalen Brunson is overrated. And he's too short, and he spends the entire game searching for fouls by running into people. For real, Ewing never had a champ ring. Unbelievable. It wasn't that weird back in the day that the big popular players wouldn't get rings because we weren't in this current player movement era where LeBron goes to like 5 different teams and shit. I don't care about sports unless it involves Messi. My favorite Argentinian Nazi descendant or whatever. The GOAT. Think Shaq would be half as remembered if he wasn't part of broadcast talent? Yeah, probably, because he's just really big, so he's easy to remember. He's extremely distinct in his talents, which makes him different from other characters. He also can't shut the fuck up, and he always wants to be in the spotlight, so even if he wasn't on broadcast television, he'd be doing something to make sure that people wouldn't forget about him, even if it was extremely cringe. That's just how he operates. He's always doing stupid stunts like pretending like he's a sheriff in Miami or some stupid shit like that, so I'm sure he would find some way to waste our time. Prolific EDM DJ Shaq. Yes. Shaq's so talented. He can do so many things. He can DJ, he can be a police officer, he can commentate about how whatever current player is playing right now isn't as good as he was, and how the current center has to go strong to the hole. Barbecue fried chicken. God, he's so talented. He's so smart. I love Shaq. Shaq is the opposite of The Rock in assholishness. That tells me that you probably don't watch Shaq actually speak during any kind of NBA broadcast. Shaq does everything to pretend like he's a happy-go-lucky, friendly giant, just a jokester, happy guy who just wants to get along with everybody, but he can't go 5 seconds without, like, disparaging people in order to make himself look better. The easiest way to see this is just ask Shaq about whatever current player, and he'll just be like, yeah, that guy's good but not as good as me. That's like his response to literally everything. He's a massive asshole. To be fair, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is also on like 10 million tons of steroids every single day, so whatever personality he originally had that might not have been as much of an asshole has probably been superseded by all the human growth hormone entering his brain, so I can't really blame him for being an asshole, considering there's well-documented research showing that steroids make you more aggressive and stuff. Worked on a set where The Rock was the main actor. He was really nice and gave me a donut. He probably gave you the donut because he was cutting and he wasn't allowed to eat more than like 500 calories a day or something. And he was like, this donut's going to waste. We'll give it to this weird production assistant girl so I won't be tempted to eat it. I have to maintain my water weight. The Rock ate 2 boxes of donuts regularly, LOL. Interesting. I bet he doesn't do that anymore. I wonder how old was he when he was eating a shit ton of donuts? I'm sure he can't get away with it at his current age, but there's definitely a time in which if you're like burning as many calories as he is, he could probably do that easily. For me, it was like around 36 or something when my metabolism immediately started to slow down. I'm like, huh, I'm getting fat. How did that happen? Is it magic? No, it's getting old. We're just getting old. My girlfriend in college was a distant relative of The Rock, and once one video called him just to prove it. He looked like he was completely zooted. My celebrity bragging rights is one of my distant second cousins is a successful Jump author, Shonen Jump author, manga author that all of you guys know. And I talked to him once on the phone. And he was saying that he was falling asleep on the toilet because he didn't have enough time to sleep. And I was like, okay, I'll let him go. After like 2 minutes, I was like, holy shit, this guy's about to die. I shouldn't be talking to him. I need to give him time so he can sleep. The famous mangaka, he won't tell us who. Yeah, I guess I can tell you guys. There's only like, what, 10 people watching the stream anyways. It's fucking Horikoshi. Apparently. I'm not even sure about it. I never really met him in person, so... My aunt was so fucking excited when My Hero Academia was coming out, because he was like making it, and she gave me a bunch of volumes, and I read them, and I couldn't be like, LOL, I don't like it. I'm not a huge fan. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Also, I met Jane Goodall when I was younger. That's about all I have to talk about meeting famous people, I guess. For some reason, when I was in Japan, in Kyoto, my mother formed some sort of friendship with some sort of local nature activist in the Kyoto area who had these really cool log cabins out in the mountains around Kyoto. Like, Kyoto is surrounded by mountains in a circle. And She knew Jane Goodall, so I think I met Jane Goodall. I'm pretty sure I met her in person. But it's such a long time ago, I can't remember shit about that. Do people even know who Jane Goodall is? I don't think she's that important anymore, but she was a big deal in the 90s when the only thing we cared about growing up was gorillas in the mist and shit like that, so... Yeah, Jane Goodall. Is it that? Am I pronouncing it wrong? I haven't said her name in a long, long time. Yeah, the chimp lady. The woman who was convincing us that in the 90s that chimps weren't bloodthirsty, insane psychopaths that will tear our faces off, when it turned out that they were in fact insane psychopaths that would tear our faces off. Yeah. She was giving people the wrong idea. If you ever get a chance to meet him, tell him how many times you gooned to Mirko. I do have probably about 700 images of Mirko on my computer, but she's definitely not my go-to character for jacking off, even though most of the content is buff brown girl getting raped by monster content, which you'd think would be like top tier stuff, but you know, she's good enough, I guess. I won't complain. If I had to go to prison and I was only allowed to jack off to one manga character for the next 5 years, Mirko would be fine, I guess. Got annoyed at all the Zendaya flashbangs. Guys, do we have enough movies with Zendaya in them? I'm worried that I'm not getting enough Zendaya content. I need to see Zendaya and more stuff, guys. I haven't watched the Dune movies. I started watching the first movie because it was on Amazon Prime, and I'm like, this is boring. I like the book, but I don't like this movie. Fuck this. And I just dropped it. Did Zendaya ever star with Pedro Pascal? Wait, are they resetting the Marvel Universe? I was gonna say that if Zendaya is in Spider-Man and they want to keep her in Spider-Man, and Pedro Pascal is now gonna be like the Reed Richards, then they'll probably be together. But I heard somewhere that they were just restarting everything because they don't know how to fucking write their way out of their, you know, shithole that they dug themselves into. Is that a real thing? Marvel is cooked? Yeah, I do think they are. I think you're right about that one. They nerfed the coke-fueled enthusiasm for Islam. Did they nerf the coke, or did they nerf the Islam, or did they nerf both? Because, you know, Dune 3 is just the guy being on an endless coke binge that's so powerful that he knows what's going to happen for the rest of his life until he dies, which is a lot of coke, you know. Marvel hasn't been good since Avengers 1. I don't know when's the last... I didn't enjoy Endgame. I knew I was supposed to enjoy Endgame and I didn't. So... yeah, I don't know. I don't know when the last Marvel movie that I was like actually enjoying it was. I'd have to rewatch all of them to actually figure out my opinions on Marvel movies, which is something I'm not going to do. I definitely did not enjoy Avengers 2 Age of Ultron or whatever. That went on way too long and it was way too serious, and it was just a lot of, you know, robot shit going on for too long. I enjoyed Black Panther. Possibly the only DEI era DEI movie I've enjoyed about anything. which makes you wonder if Black Panther actually counts as DEI. It didn't really feel like DEI when you were watching it. Maybe it was just because we were innocent to how bad DEI was going to get after Black Panther, but at the time it was like, yo, look at all this African shit, that's cool. That shit's fire, this is fun. I have not seen Wakanda Forever, nor do I ever plan to. There's a challenge to name 10 black superheroes who don't have the name Black in their name and don't have electric powers. Does Steel have electric powers? I don't think so. There's one. I think I can name like 4. Steel, Spawn. Although you might say Spawn doesn't count because he's a fucking corpse. That's 2. I'm working on it, guys. Black Canary. No, wait, that's a white woman. There's a black guy in Invincible with concrete powers. Steel is mechanized, technically electric. Wasn't Steel just a guy who's like, I'm gonna build my own superhero suit and it's just gonna be a bunch of metal stuff I put on in my face? What about Mr. Satan? He has an afro, guys. I think he's technically counts as black. Maybe he's Mediterranean. Luke Cage definitely counts, but only if you can name his superhero name. I literally didn't know that he had a superhero name. I thought his name was Luke Cage Hero for Hire, and that was it. The only hero I think of is Blade. I always forget Blade. The Blade movies never really had a strong emotional impact on me for some reason. I'm not sure why. Oh, what about the greatest hero of all time? Wait. It's not Orgasmo. Who was the... God damn it. I thought Orgasmo was black for some reason. Who was the guy who wasn't Orgasmo from that era, who was a sex-themed superhero that was black? AI, help me. Sex-themed superhero movies, black character. If AI can't give me the answer, then it's fucking worthless. No, it's not showing up. Damn, who was it? I distinctly remember the movie box, but I wasn't allowed to watch the movie. Hey guys, are you forgetting Black Adam? Remember, The Rock is technically black, remember? Keck W. No one has listed Storm. I don't think Storm really counts as black because she has white hair. If you can't tolerate the natty afro hairstyle, then you're not actually black, I think. Storm, electric powers. Storm is literally African, also electric powers. Are you guys forgetting the unforgettable Will Smith superhero, Hancock? I'm sure we all remember that Will Smith classic. I thought this movie was called Black Man, but it's saying it's Blank Man.
In a city plagued with crime, when hope is gone and help is out of reach.
Please help me.
Hey, get off the car, you bum! Only one man can stand in the way of evil.
Look! I'm a crime fighter!
No man
Get ready to rumble!
has ever been so bold. No crime fighter so brave.
Wanna try it again, pal? Why don't you shoot him in the head? Yeah! Shoot him in the head! Uh-oh.
This seems like a real Steve Urkel flex right here.
I'll never forget you, my love.
And no crusader has inspired.
I think there was a point where Hollywood was like, everybody loves this black nerd guy.
Pictures presents
I have to make the world a safer place for my children.
You got to be with the woman first! You a virgin!
Well,
Jalen Wayans,
please, call me Blank Man.
Blank Man.
I have not seen it, by the way.
Stand back.
It was a different time, guys. Half of the movies were kind of like this, actually.
Blank suit.
Basically, Batman was like this.
Did you find a bomb?
Yeah, but not the one we're looking for.
Jalen Wayans.
Hang on, I'm coming down.
You're gonna have to deliver this baby.
Can't do that.
I know what you guys think, but the Wayans brothers were very successful.
Alan Greer.
Kevin, I can't eat. What? Talk lane to the booker.
Holy shit, this is a long-ass trailer. Oh, it's only 2 minutes. It seems like it's been going on forever.
Introducing
Not Damon Wayans' best role? What is Damon Wayans' best role? White girls, duh. I knew someone was gonna say that. Does Catwoman count for the challenge? My brain had successfully erased that movie from my memory, despite seeing it in the movie theater. For some reason, Sharon Stone appears in that movie as like an aging woman, which she was at the time, and like her superpower is that she's using like some sort of diamond-based skin balm, and it makes her skin super hard. Yeah, this was a thing. She's like, my makeup is my superpower. Everybody who's like, Hollywood nowadays is too uninspired. Hollywood used to be so much better. It's like, not really. No, think again. You're wrong. You're actually wrong. Hollywood used to be way worse. Oh, what about Token in South Park? I forgot what superhero Token is. Was he wearing the Tupperware? Token, South Park, superhero identity. Yeah, he was the Tupperware. In the fantasy version, he was the healer. But yeah, he was a Tupperware guy. Extremely powerful. Although his name is literally Black, so I don't think he satisfies the black can't be in your name category. Mr. Hanky is technically dark-skinned. Yes, that's a good way to get in a fight with your black friend, by claiming that Mr. Hanky is black-coded. Anyways, guys, we're overstating the importance of having black superheroes. What about Asian male representation? Name an Asian superhero whose superpower isn't kung fu. You can't. Especially Asian males. Asian females, you can be like sexy geisha powers or some shit like that. Kamala Khan, yes, you have to get to like the most recent iterations where they're like, we have to have maximum level of racial diversity, and her Pakistani superpower can't be nuking India. That would be inappropriate. Multipole from Invincible. I only know about multiplicate. I like the concept of having sex with like 4 women at the same time, but they're all the same person, so it's not cheating. That sounds great. The best superhero ability of all. What? Does it matter if they'll cast Scarlett Johansson? Yeah. I personally like when they cast John Wayne to play Genghis Khan. That was an all-time for Asian representation. My favorite version of whitewashing. It's like, no, we must have John Wayne play him. There's no way this man could possibly be anything but white. Jubilee is Asian. Jubilee is an annoying teenager. It doesn't even matter. Fucking worthless, stupid bitch. I read like 5 X-Men comics in the 90s, and all I know is that she was like, look, I have pink firework powers or some shit. And everyone was like, shut the fuck up, Jubilee. Jubilee is the Family Guy Meg of the X-Men. in which every time you think she can't be more worthless, she somehow is more worthless, and everybody is mean to her because she deserves to be mean to. I have based this off approximately 20 pages of X-Men reading, so this might be incorrect, but nobody has told me otherwise yet. Really putting the multiple into multiple orgasm? I mean, all of the Invincible girls are hot, but I think Multiplicate was extra hot. Oh, it's Duplicate, not Multiplicate. Interesting. I forgot the name. See, I like how when Western comic book artists draw Asian people, they have to absolutely fucking maximize the fact that they have thin ching chong wing wong eyes, and then when they look at anime they're like, that's inaccurate, these anime girls have big round eyes, all Asians have giga thin line eyes. I know because I'm a professional artist. Charlie Chan, Ming Merciless, and Fu Manchu, the good old days. When we had cool Asian characters. Millennials will never understand. Cowards didn't give her a proper leotard. Yeah, if that leotard isn't grinding into the crotch, I'm not interested. I said that she was hot, but the leotard, it's not leotard enough. Real shame. We've been robbed of our God-given right to coom. I was super often asked as a kid if I'm Asian because my glasses narrow my eyes. Grade schoolers are racist as shit. As a kid in the 90s who had a mother who made him Japanese-themed bento, I got bullied like hell because I wasn't eating cancer-causing chicken McNuggets for lunch. The irony of those kids who would be like, "Ooh, he's eating seaweed, yuck!" In 1993, in 2025, those kids are all like, gas station sushi, let me gobble this up. Oh, I sure love this delicious raw fish that's been sitting in the fucking gas station cool aisle for the last 5 days. I definitely won't get any kind of food poisoning from this. My God, how the tables have turned. It's insane how much Japanese food culture people just are like, don't question that shit anymore. They're like, I bet if you tried and introduced like some sort of Japanese, fake Japanese word on like the cooking channel and stuff, like umami or bento, you'd be like, this is called jogoru or some shit like that, and it's like, this is a Japanese concept for the slight bitter aftertaste after you eat a specific food, and people are like, oh yeah, I know what they're talking about, yeah, oh, such a sophisticated palate, yeah, oh man, I love Japanese food so much. I remember bringing pita bread and hummus and kids freaked out. My lowest point is when a kid stole my pita bread and tried to blow it into a balloon. Yes. The only thing children think about every day is trying to find weakness in other children. So anything that's different, they're like, is he not eating the proper chicken nuggets school lunch? We must bully him. And it just goes on forever. I've eaten MREs and I would much rather have PB&J LMAO. How many of you guys have eaten MREs? I've never had one, nor do I really plan to go out of my way to eat one. It seems like a bad idea, honestly. Any kind of military ration probably doesn't taste very good, unless it's like Japanese. Apparently the Japanese curry military ration is good, is what I've been told, because it's, you know, Japan, of course. And it's pretty hard to make Japanese curry taste bad, so there's that. You only do it in emergency situations. Some people eat it for a living. Like Steve. Let's see what he's eating right now. I'm just thinking that he's just gonna stop uploading and people are gonna be like, yeah, he's dead. He hasn't died yet. The last time he uploaded was 4 weeks ago. Holy shit, these are 40 minutes long? God damn, how does he get 40 minutes of content out of eating a single military ration? That's legitimately impressive.
Components, you can put them back in, and it's like a little trash. Accessory packet. This box is falling apart. It is
1950 ration.
on a snack. Thought, why not? Look at the box. It's really on its last leg. It was IF1, 2, and 3. 3 different generations before it. It was first produced in 1947. And before
I'm
it
sure
was
it's
the
fine,
World War II
Steve.
Army Air Force's combat launch. It was for 3 men. Check this out.
Granulated sugar.
See that thing? Dehydrated rice. Imagine preparing that on a long flight. I mean, it's better than nothing. More, but back in the day, top spearmint, this would have been some outstanding chewing gum with some real chicle in it and everything. What a shame. Let's see if we'll find a living weevil in there. This is what IF4 changes from IF4 to IF5. The main thing was the removal of this spoon from the accessory packet because it's kind of spiky.
The transparent Coke. Yeah, he hasn't heard of Crystal Pepsi.
Just like that. I mean, we're gonna get that stuff everywhere. Look at that. How it just invades an accessory packet. It invades it and wrecks everything. It's just like refuse and parts of the weevil. Nice
The
paper towel.
Weevil. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
really
Weevils
so
got
chewy.
into the
I
food.
find
Don't
it
eat that,
even
dude. He's gonna
makes
eat it, by
blush.
the way.
And it was horrible to eat at all. I won't do it. When I get to eat them in the short B units that are in food packet individual assault in 1951, 52, that's a really good cookie. This, rare to find a good one, but I've seen them. Here. This thing. Almost don't even want to open it.
What's wrong with this guy? Does he have a death wish?
Yeah.
He's been doing this for like 8 years or now. I forgot. He's been doing this like my entire life, I feel. That's not edible, dude.
Smells a little bit off too.
Smells a little off.
But no. Ooh. No, it doesn't pass. The smell or visual. The ration individual combat in flight. An early version of the inflate food packet, which turns to meal plate feeding, and that's retort pouch.
Look how many fucking packs this has.
Okay, let's first start off by check frosting, icing. It's you just wouldn't believe it till you experience it or could see it. It's just like to be able to find something like
You know, it would be very easy for him to fake
I mean,
eating this stuff.
wow.
But for some reason, I have 100% confidence that this is a guy who actually eats all these things. Like, I don't know why I feel so confident about him just eating everything, but I'm sure he does.
Awesome.
I think it's just his tone of voice and how he just seems to be so legitimately into it, into everything he eats.
Especially this era.
It's a very bad idea. Honestly, it's pretty crazy that YouTube doesn't flag his stuff as, like, promoting harm or something, you know? Just opening an enclosed room seems like a health hazard. He's eaten so many, like, old shit. He's eaten stuff from, like, 1910, 1890, stuff like that. Although, I guess if it's that old, maybe, like, any kind of botulism has already died off, so it's safer. But I guess even if it dies off, then the poison would still be in the food, so I don't think it would actually make it safer. I take that back. Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream here. I'm approaching the end. We're at 39 of 44 or so. So at some point I'm probably going to stop streaming and just be drawing backgrounds and doing finishing work for a while. But I'll be streaming a few more days until that happens. But I have all this like work that I have to do off stream because I won't be able to figure out how to draw backgrounds unless I'm like fully focused in drawing them. So see you around, guys. Good night.